This is about winning. And yes, there are broken promises between, Jamal Adams and the organization, and there are difficult dealings between himself and Joe Douglas, but this comes down to him being the ultimate leader for the New York Jets. This team isn't led by Sam Darnold. This team goes as Jamal Adams goes, and it is him being an all-pro the last 2 years. And he says, period, point blank, it's simple for me. I want to win. And he feels like he can't do it by himself, but in also trying to create a winning culture, also in going out and doing everything you can and giving everything on the field, being disrespected by the brass, being talked to like you haven't been not only the model player, the model leader, but the model citizen off the field. That's a problem for Jamal Adams. And if you're not going to win games, if you're going to lose double the games than you've won, then you have to show some respect by the way you treat a guy monetarily. Let's look at other faces of the franchise recently, and both of these guys play running back, but the Dallas Cowboys understood Ezekiel Elliott was worth it, so he's re-upped. 2 years left on his contract. Christian McCaffrey now becomes the face of the franchise in Carolina, and he's re-upped and made the highest paid running back of all time. And that's what Jamal Adams deserves. He deserves to be the highest paid player at his position, and that's what he was asking for. Let's go back to last season during the trade line when they weren't fielding calls on many players in New York, but they're taking calls on Jamal Adams after they said they would not. And then we hear the Joe Douglas excuses later. And a lot of times that he's spoken about this situation or he's talked about it, it's been with a ton of arrogance. And I think that continues from the New York Jets and from Joe Douglas and also from an organization who hasn't won. Go ahead, Steve.
Here's the deal. Yeah. I wanted to interrupt just a touch because you're the football expert, and damn it, by the time you finish, we ain't going to have anything to say because what can we piggyback off of? You breaking everything down. So, it's all right. It's all right. Here's the deal. Number one. I appreciate the fact that you admit you're a bit biased. Usually I don't forgive you and swag good with your LSU bias. But in this particular instance, it's right on point 1,000%. And I'm going to let that go because I totally agree with you about Jamal Adams. And I got boys like my boy Jeff Brown in California. He's got my godchildren being Jets fans talking about, what they should just play. Just be quiet. Here's the deal about Jamal Adams that everybody needs to understand here. You're talking about 91 tackles, which led the team. You're talking about 17 quarterback hits, which led the team. You're talking about 6.5 sacks, 5.5 between weeks 9 to 13 for crying out loud. We see what this brother brings to the table. Here's where my problem comes when it comes to a perpetually moribund franchise like the New York Jets. We don't just talk about talent, Ryan. We talk about culture building. When you talk about culture building, how can you not love Jamal Adams? How can you not value Jamal Adams? How can you not look at him and not see this is the kind of culture it takes in order to build a winning program? And see, the problem exists with the NFL, and this is more so than exists with basketball and other places. You know how we got on Laura Ingraham for, basically telling LeBron to be quiet and dribble. We knew that wouldn't pan. But in the NFL, they get away with it all the time. Shut up and play. That's essentially what they want these guys to do. And that's essentially what they mandate. With a Jamal Adams, it's like, wait, he's saying, excuse me. It ain't like y'all are proving y'all know what the hell y'all doing. Let me have some input. Put value to my name. Give me that cachet. Yes. So guess what? You'll want to pick up the phone and call me. You'll want to get my opinion about a particular player before you sign him. You'll want me to go in the locker room and be an extension of the organization so I can get everybody to buy in because that's how you build a culture. They won't do it for him. And that is the problem. And that's why I don't blame him for taking the position that he has taken. He is 1,000% right. He shouldn't want to be at that damn franchise. They're pathetic. They stink. And in all likelihood, it's because of the attitude. Because no matter who they put in that position, it continues to be people who believe they are more than what they actually are. That is the problem with the New York Jets. And don't get me started with your boy, Adam Gase, okay? I was nice today, but only today. Go
Why
ahead.
you keep saying my boy?
Because you spoke
I
for
think
him
we
the day
were
he
on
got
the
hired.
road.
That's why when he looked high at his press conference. But go ahead, Matt.
Man.
I think we were on the road before the 2017 draft. I want to say we were in Philadelphia, if memory serves. But I believe First Take was on the road that day. We were doing a pre-draft show. And I mentioned you could justify taking Jamal Adams first overall. Because when you draft first overall, you want to get a Hall of Famer. And when I looked at Jamal Adams, I saw an extremely high floor. It's not that his floor was the Hall of Fame, but his floor was multiple Pro Bowls. You could see that. He was going to be an excellent NFL player. And in fact, when you look at the 5 guys taken ahead of him, he's better than all of them. I'm not saying he should have gone first overall, but necessarily still, but he would have been a perfectly good pick. He's better than the 5 guys who were taken ahead of him.
Yep.
So when you make a great selection at 6 and he pans out to at least your expectations, if not exceeds them, and those expectations were very high, and he still has another year on his rookie deal and everything, like, why is this not working out for the Jets? So you had a plan.
Yes.
The plan exceeded your expectations. You have the guy now. Now it's like you set the table. Now it's time to eat, but he's got to eat too. He's got to eat too. Guys, the Jets were last in the playoffs 10 years ago. In those 10 years, they've been above 500 once. They were 500 twice. And in every other season, they were below 500. There are worse franchises than the Jets. They through the Woody Johnson or the Johnson kind of ownership of the team, there have been franchises that have fared much worse. Even as kind of bottom feeder franchises, they're usually not winning 4 games, and they haven't won 2 or 3 games. They're at least 6-game kind of losing style team, but they're a losing style team, and this is why. You draft right, you hit on them, the plan's working, and you still mess it up somehow. That's what bad organizations do.